What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and it looked like Caitlin Clark sat down to give her first pretty much press conference after practice. This is the first time we didn't heard from Caitlin Clark in a mighty long time, man. And I ain't gonna waste no time. We finna jump right into this thing. Let's pull it up.
Right into some questions. As we've been doing all day and all day yesterday, we'll go for about 10 minutes or so. Do our best to get it to as many as possible. And let's go ahead and start with Sydney, please.
Hi, Caitlin. You previously said
any objections were silenced by the calm assurance with which she spoke. Her absence from the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris served as a potent catalyst rather than a disappointment, in her first news conference following her eagerly awaited comeback. Caitlin Clark shared a startling viewpoint that framed her entire journey. She said there was no disappointment. Chase just had a searing new goal that turned a perceived rejection into unadulterated, unyielding motivation. This wasn't only a return. It was a deep statement of intent. As the room took in what she had said, they realized that this wasn't the Clark they had assumed. Her perspective had completely changed, paving the way for a remarkable new phase.
Go ahead and start with Sydney, please.
Hi, Caitlin. You previously said that there was no disappointment when you weren't selected for the 2024 Paris Olympics because it gave you something to work toward. Reflecting back on the past year and a half and, making your first senior camp, what does this moment mean for you and why is this the right time for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can do a USA basketball related camp, or obviously in my past, it's been all junior national teams. And, I've been cut from some of those and
Clark sees the Olympic exclusion as the real start of a new cycle, an opportunity to work towards future success, rather than lamenting what she lost. She candidly acknowledged that she had previously been cut by junior national teams, an unexpected admission that demonstrated her tenacity and in-depth knowledge of the competitive environment. Because of her past, she is able to tackle any perceived setback with the knowledge of a veteran, which strengthens rather than weakens her resolve. Her modest acceptance changed the story by portraying her as a determined athlete with an unwavering vision for the future rather than as a victim. This well-thought-out remark went viral right away.
I think anytime you can do a USA basketball related camp, or obviously in my past, it's been all junior national teams. And, I've been cut from some of those and I've played for 3 of them. So I think I've experienced both sides of it. And, this is the biggest honor you can possibly have in playing basketball in our country is wearing USA across your chest. So, I'm just excited to be here and honored. Obviously, it's kind of like the start to the new Olympic cycle and, quite a few different things before we get to that point, but just excited to be here and be surrounded by a lot of really great players, some that, haven't played in Olympics before, and then others that have a medal or multiple medals. So I think it's been a fun group to be around.
There were personal difficulties along with her physical return to the floor for the USA basketball camp. As practice got underway, Clark openly acknowledged that he was feeling a lot of anxiety, that a unique look inside a superstar's personal life. The doubt about her own preparedness persisted after a protracted hiatus. However, as soon as her hands made contact with the basketball during warm-ups, that fear vanished. Comfort was immediately brought on by the leather's familiar feel, a strong confirmation that she was right where she belonged, prepared to play her game with newfound vigor.
6 months, I mean, you basically, I think you had a stretch of like 7 years, whether it's Iowa or Dowling, where you just didn't miss a game. You never were out for one game with an ankle tweak or anything. Just having that stretch of being off the court and not playing games. Did you learn anything about yourself? And did you learn anything about the game just being on the sideline rather than playing?
Yeah, I think for sure. And I put together a pretty incredible stretch of never missing a game. And, the fact is when you're a professional athlete, it's going to come at some point. That's just how it goes. I think it's honestly taught me more than I've probably ever learned through the course of my career of, how to take care of your body, how to get right, how to stay healthy, and then just taking time for yourself. Like obviously being hurt is.
It was an arduous, never-ending grind to return to this crucial point. Clark disclosed that she had not taken a break since the Wnba season began, devoting all of her focus to her lengthy recuperation. She was solely focused on improving her physical condition rather than merely getting better. This unwavering commitment highlights the enormous personal sacrifice needed to recover from injury at the elite level, pushing boundaries every day. The secret tale of her self-assured comeback is one of unrelenting diligence motivated by an unquenchable determination to not just play again, but to surpass all expectations.
Incredibly isolating thing, and you don't really understand it until you go through it. And then I think the challenge for myself was just, it was one injury, and then it was like a little better, and then it kind of continued to compound and get worse, and other things pop up, and then I had the ankle injury. So it feels nice to finally be back to 100%. And in a way, at the end of the WNBA season, like obviously I did everything I could to try to be able to come back and be able to play for my team, but it just didn't really work. I think that was almost a way of relief for myself, just knowing that I gave everything I could to possibly try to play, but my body just wasn't really letting me. And then I continued to
Unquestionably, the effort paid off. Clark talked about having a really fulfilling breakthrough moment and feeling like she was finally being herself on the court once more. While continuing to fight to fully rebuild her lung capacity, she felt a great feeling of normalcy returning to her game as she moved with increased fluidity and confidence. Her movements felt incredibly forceful, a potent sign of her full recovery. She instantly smiled as a result of this feeling, demonstrating her happiness at being able to perform at her best again. Her homecoming was more than simply a physical one. It was an emotional and mental victory.
a way of relief for myself, just knowing that I gave everything I could to possibly try to play, but my body just wasn't really letting me. And then I continued to rehab, and now feeling back at 100%, it honestly took probably longer than I expected, but knowing my body's in a really good spot. And I think more than anything, it just teaches you how to be a really great teammate and a really good leader, and understanding what your teammates go through. Like obviously I'm going to have teammates that have been through injuries and are going to continue to go through injuries, and always leaning on them and being there for them. And if I have a teammate hurt going forward, like I'm always going to be the one that texts them and checks on them. And then just pouring into your teammates. You can do that whether you play or you don't.
Prior to this most recent setback, Clark had an astonishing 7 years in a row without missing a single game due to injury, an almost legendary streak. Her tenacity was renowned, whether she was playing professionally or in college. This incredible record highlighted the abrupt change in her career trajectory and made her recent physical difficulties even more impactful. She was never sidelined by even a slight ankle injury. Her uninterrupted playing time was a testament to her past resilience. However, the unavoidable realities of elite competition soon confronted even the strongest athletes.
National team landscape with this being a younger roster, but over the last couple of months, there's also been broader changes in the professional women's basketball landscape as well. Have you been approached by the Project B League at all? And do you have plans to take part in it? And if not, what do you think of it more broadly?
Yeah, I mean, I plan to play in the WNBA. Obviously, that's another thing that we need to get done. So we have a season coming up here. But I think more than anything, it showcases what people think of women's basketball. All of these different opportunities, all these different leagues, the platform that they want to give women's basketball, where they think women's basketball is going to continue to grow. I think that's probably the thing that
more profound than anything she had learned in her whole career. Clark learned priceless lessons from dealing with her first serious injury. She talked candidly about how important it is to take good care of one's body, how important it is to maintain one's health, and how important it is to make time for one's own well-being. Her perspective on her physical and emotional well-being was drastically altered by this unanticipated break, which compelled her to have a deeper comprehension of athletic longevity. The event turned into a tough but crucial teacher, exposing realities about professional athletics that can only be comprehended through hardship.
About your long-time bond with your fellow number 22, Cam Brink. You two were having good laughs with each other, and Cam, talk about rejoining and teaming up with Cam again. And do you feel with your golfing prowess that you showed that you are the best golfer on the WNBA?
Well, first of all, obviously it's great to see Cam. Last time I played USA basketball, I'm pretty sure she was on the team, or maybe that was 2 times ago, but she was actually my roommate one of the times that I played USA basketball. So I've known her for quite some time now. And then obviously throughout college, continued to build our relationship, and then even now professionally. So it's always good to see people that you've known for.
According to Clark, The loneliness that follows an injury is genuinely unfathomable until you go through it yourself. She described an increasing number of disappointments. Her serious ankle ailment finally resulted from one injury that seemed to go better but then got worse or caused other problems. The intense loneliness of rehabilitation was highlighted by this protracted period of mental and physical suffering. The road to recovery wasn't an easy one. It was a difficult struggle against persistent obstacles that put her resilience to the test at every stage and made her face her limitations. After a lengthier healing period than she had anticipated, Clark finally pronounced herself fully recovered. This was a significant relief as well as a physical accomplishment, marking the conclusion of a challenging and difficult journey. As she returns to high-level competition, the knowledge that her body is in a great position gives her a great deal of confidence. Although difficult, the prolonged absence eventually guaranteed a full and strong comeback, solidifying her preparedness for the demanding responsibilities that lay ahead. Her steadfast dedication to a thorough recovery demonstrates her profound professionalism. Beyond the physical, her injuries served as a potent lesson in empathy and leadership. Clark talked on how the experience made her a better teammate and a more compassionate leader. She became aware of the challenges her teammates unavoidably encounter after going through the lonely process of recuperation. This profound realization guarantees that she will be able to relate to people facing comparable difficulties on a deeper level. Her fragility turned into a source of strength, creating a connection of understanding that will surely improve her presence in any locker room. Clark pledged to be a steadfast rock of support going forward for any teammates dealing with ailments. As a direct result of her own experience with isolation during recovery, she made it clear that she was committed to texting and checking in on them. Her leadership has a new dimension as a result of this proactive compassion, guaranteeing that no one on her team will feel isolated in their fight. Her empathy developed through hardship is expected to strengthen the team dynamic's sense of solidarity and concern for one another without a strong and motivating dedication. This specific USA basketball camp is extremely important since it signifies the unavoidable beginning of a new Olympic cycle. Clark emphasized the overwhelming number of younger players, indicating a conscious move in the direction of future talent. It's more than just a training session for this group of emerging stars. The next generation of national team dominance is being built on this pivotal event. Exciting times ahead for American basketball on the international scene are indicated by the dynamic and competitive atmosphere created by the enthusiasm of these new faces paired with seasoned coaching. These young performers already have a surprising amount of familiarity, an indication of the strong development pipeline for USA basketball. Many have competed in the WNBA, faced off as rivals in college, or played together on junior national teams in the past. Because of their same past, there is instant comfort and understanding, enabling the competitive spirit to thrive without the typical awkwardness of introduction. From an early age, the system has fostered an exceptional competitive environment and instilled a deep respect for the national program in these athletes. When asked if he might participate in other up-and-coming professional leagues, Clark gave no indication. The WNBA has solidified her future. She firmly declared, "I intend to play in the WNBA," reiterating her commitment to the reputable league. This stirring statement was a tremendous endorsement in the midst of a changing prospects, demonstrating her devotion to the platform that has already helped her achieve superstardom. Her dedication makes it evident what her top priorities are in the rapidly growing field of women's professional basketball. Clark sees the emergence of various leagues and varied chances as an overall positive indication for women's basketball. Despite her dedication to the WNBA, she views them as concrete evidence of the sport's rapid expansion and growing faith and investment in its future. These endeavors show how much the sport is now valued by offering a larger platform. This increase in interest. She claims that this is an exciting time for everyone involved and immediately reflects a rising awareness of women's basketball's enormous potential and ongoing upward trajectory. When it comes to women's basketball, Clark said that what really makes her proud is witnessing people finally put their money where their mouths are. The sport's excellence was sometimes overlooked for decades. However, significant investments are now coming in. This financial support is a significant change that indicates a strong trust in its cultural influence and commercial potential. She strongly described this newfound dedication